Welcome to my podcast, Money Conversations with Maya. Hey everyone, welcome back to the studio. Before we start, I want you to do something. Open your banking app. Look at that balance. It looks safe, right? Solid, unchanging. But what if I told you that number is a lie? In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you why your savings are actually a slow motion car crash and how to fix it. I call it the Great Cash Melt. It's the reason why your $100 today buys half of what it did 5 years ago. We aren't just talking about prices going up, we're talking about your hard-earned freedom evaporating. Think of the entire global economy as a single pie. In the past, there were only a few slices. If you owned one, you had a lot of purchasing power. You're wealthy. You can trade that slice for a house, a car, and a year of groceries. You feel secure because you own a significant portion of the total stuff available in the world. But when more money is printed, the pie stays the same size, but the slices get smaller. You still have one slice, $1, but it doesn't fill you up anymore. This is inflation in its simplest form. Since 2020, more slices have been cut than almost any other time in history. When the government stimulates the economy, they aren't creating wealth. They are just diluting yours. It's a silent transfer of value from the people who save money to the people who spend it first. This is why you feel like you're earning more than ever, yet you can afford less than ever. Since 2020, the value of the same $1 has decreased significantly. If your bank account hasn't grown by 20% in that time, you are actually poorer today than you were then. Every hour you sleep, a tiny piece of your money is being shaved off by a ghost you can't see. We call it inflation. Now let's talk about how people try to fight inflation. They normally either put their money in a high-yield savings account or buy gold or both. Let's discuss both. Now, let's talk about the biggest trap in modern finance. I get emails every day saying, Maya, I've got my money in a high-yield savings account. I'm earning 4.5%. I'm finally beating inflation, right? I hate being the one to break it to you, but the bank isn't your friend here. They are a business, and their business model relies on you not doing the math. Let's pull out the whiteboard and look at what happens to $10,000 in one of these great accounts over 12 months. Okay, so you have $10,000. At 4.5% interest, you earn $450. You see that number hit your account and you feel like you've won. But wait, here comes the first stealth cut. That $450 is considered taxable income. If you're in a standard tax bracket, the government is going to swipe about 25% of that. Poof, your $450 gain is now actually $337. You're already starting behind, but we aren't done yet. Now we have to account for the actual melt, the rising cost of living. If inflation is 5%, it means you need $10,500 just to have the same lifestyle you had last year, but you only have $10,337. Do you see the gap? You did everything right. You saved, you used a high-yield account, you stayed safe. And yet, at the end of the year, you can actually buy less than when you started. You're $163 poorer in real terms. Keeping too much cash is like trying to store ice in a summer heat wave. You have to move it into something that doesn't melt. It's time for the mailbag. I love these because it shows me exactly where your heads are at. Sarah from Austin writes, Maya, I'm done with the banks. I'm putting everything into gold bars and burying them in the yard. That's the only way to stay safe from the melt, right? Sarah, I love the spirit of independence. But let's talk about the bunker mentality. Gold has been a store of value for thousands of years. It's great for insurance. If the entire world's financial system collapses, gold is a win. But we aren't planning for a zombie era. We're planning for wealth. Now, Sarah, I hear you. And you're right to look at gold. In the last few years, gold has actually been a rock star, hitting all-time highs and protecting people while the dollar was shaking. It's the ultimate safe haven asset. But here is the nuance we need to understand for your long-term fortress. Gold is a protector, while things like stocks or real estate are producers. Think of gold like a high-tech suit of armor. In a storm, you're glad you have it. And as the storm gets worse, the value of that armor goes up because everyone wants one. In any uncertainty, the price of gold increases, as we have seen in the last 2 years. But gold doesn't generate any income. On the other hand, a productive asset, like a great company or a rental property, is like a fruit tree. It doesn't just sit there, it produces. It pays you dividends or rent while also growing in value. So, I'm not saying gold is dead. It has a seat at the table, especially when inflation is high. But I don't want my entire portfolio full of gold. I want a farm that feeds me. I keep some gold for peace of mind and price appreciation, but I put the bulk of my wealth into things that work, invent, and grow. You want to be a protector of your wealth, Sarah, but you also want to be an owner of the future. Does that balance make more sense? We've talked about the melt, the bank traps, and the gold myth. Now, let's talk about your fortress. How do you actually build a life that is inflation proof? It starts with a mindset shift. You have to stop viewing your bank balance as your wealth and start viewing your assets as your wealth. In 2026, the person with the most cash loses. The person with the most productive ownership wins. Ownership is the only thing the great melt cannot touch. Now, let's discuss the steps required to build an inflation-proof life. Step 1. Audit your cash. I'm not saying don't have savings. You need an emergency fund, usually 3 to 6 months of expenses. But anything beyond that is a leaky bucket. If you have $50,000 sitting in a standard account, you are effectively paying a safety tax of several $1,000s a year. Decide what you really need for peace of mind and treat the rest like soldiers that need to be sent out to work. Step 2. Get into the game of ownership. Whether it's index funds, dividend stocks, or real estate, you want to own the things people must use. When the price of milk goes up, the company selling the milk makes more money. When you own that company, your wealth goes up too. You aren't a victim of the price hike. You're a participant in the economy. This is how the wealthy stay wealthy while everyone else struggles to keep up. Step 3. Invest in the one asset that is 100% tax-free and inflation-proof: yourself. If you become 10% more valuable to the market will pay you 10% more, regardless of what the dollar is worth. Your skills are inflation-proof. Read the books, take the courses, and build the network. It's the ultimate hedge. All right, let's summarize everything we discussed. Prices are rising. Inflation is slowly killing the value of your money, but your wealth doesn't have to melt away. Use the strategy we talked about today to protect your hard work. Keep an emergency fund ready, build your portfolio, and invest in yourself to live an inflation-proof life. I'm Maya, and thank you for being part of this conversation. I'll see you in the next episode. Before we wrap up, I just want to say this. These conversations are meant to grow over time. Money means different things to different people, and there are many directions this podcast can go. If there's a topic around money or investing that you're curious about, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll be reading them as we shape future conversations here. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to hear more calm, honest discussions about money, please like this episode and follow the channel. We release new money conversations every week. Thank you for being here.